Hello, good evening, and welcome to our live show. Ayo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So today with me you have Barrister Ayo Oshoma. He's a lawyer and a data privacy expert. We are going to talk about the new opportunity card that Germany has introduced for people who wish to migrate from all over the world. Ayo is going to put us through. That's his department, and I'm just here to guide the audience. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section, and we are going to respond to them as they come in. So, welcome, Ayo, and how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's nice to be here today. And it's nice to also share my perspective on this new immigration pathway, which I think it's very good and would benefit a lot of our viewers today.
Okay,
Like you said,
so
I'm a lawyer.
mhm.
Like you said, I'm a lawyer. I'm a data privacy expert. I'm also an immigrant who came to Germany. I came to study, and then now I'm working in a professional field.
Okay, thank you very much, Ayo, and thank you for taking out the time to educate our fellow brothers and sisters about this new opportunity. Actually, why I wanted you to come and talk about it is because of recent we've had a lot of issues on social media about people taking money from from our brothers and sisters back home, um, claiming to help them, and then it goes bad. Then I saw this opportunity where we can actually help them by giving them the information. They don't really need anybody to to pay anyone. They could ask for minimal help, but not something where you could pay millions of naira or francs to go through. So I want you to tell us like a general overview. What is this Shansen card or opportunity card? What is it all about?
Okay, I'll give you a brief breakdown about it. So, this is a new immigration pathway that is designed because now Germany is saying that they need lots of professionals because there's shortage of jobs in Germany, and there's lots of professionals that are needed to fill these vacancies because there are lots of vacancies. And now the only way they can do this is that they would need to engage other professionals from foreign professionals to come in to work to make the country also sustainable. So this is why they've introduced this pathway where you can come into Germany and look for a work as a professional, and then you can switch your visa to any residency that may be appropriate in your case. So what does this opportunity card gives us? The opportunity card gives us the opportunity to apply for a 1 year visa. It gives you a 1 year visa. You come into Germany for a period of 1 year, and while you're in Germany, you can look for a job in your profession. And even while you're here, you can also work part-time, 20 hours per week in for any other job. It could be any job, maybe a menial job or any job just to keep you sustainable during this period. But then the main target is that you're going to look for a job that is related to your professional field within the period of 1 year. And when you get a job, you can switch to a good residency.
All right, thank you very much, Ayo. I understand that you went to school in this country. I know that because we were classmates. I don't know. Does it apply to people that schooled here too? Because I know that at first, when you finish, your degree in Germany, you have 1 year or so,
Yes.
if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken, to get a job.
Yes.
Now, this chance card, does it apply to people who are already based in Germany as well?
The good thing is that it applies to everybody. If you've studied in Germany, you even have more upper hand because there's more leverage as to that, which I will discuss later in terms of the requirement that is needed. So why even if you are presently in Germany or you've come to Germany before, then it also applies to you and you can also apply for it, irrespective of what other residency you might have.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, let's go back to the Shansen Carter. Yeah, I don't know much about it because I think when things don't concern me, I really don't want to talk about them. Now we have a lot of people from Africa who want to move to Germany. Yeah,
Yes.
and we both of us know that the language is a huge barrier. both of us know how we struggle to get to where we are now.
Exactly.
The things that we have done, the kind of jobs we did before finally getting something that we can say, okay, we can sit down and be happy to work. Now, what do you think about this for those that are coming from Africa? Do they need to speak German before they get this opportunity, or it's not required? I don't understand.
Okay, this is a very good question. One thing at the back of your mind is that for a specific part of it, you might not need to speak German to come into it. It's not necessary to speak German, depending on the requirements you decide to follow. It's not necessary. You can just speak English and you can come in. But that is what it requires. But I would say personally that coming into Germany without learning German or preparing yourself to learn German, it's really, really not a good idea. So even if we have this opportunity that allows you to come without learning the German, have it at the back of your mind that you should prepare yourself. If you could even start now, start learning the German, because it's not really easy to survive without learning German in Germany. And it's not even easy to get these jobs. So you could come without the German because it allows you to come. But then when you're looking for jobs, and many of the job applications are telling you they require German. So it's a big disadvantage for you. You understand? But then you can come in without learning German. So I don't know if you want me to go deep dive into the two pathways that
No,
are
no, no.
required for. Okay.
For me, given my experience and your experience with the German and the jobs, I think it's important that we clarify our people about certain things, so that it's don't forget that our people might just hear about this opportunity and leave whatever they are doing behind and jump
Mhm.
into Germany, and before they know it, the language is a major problem, and then they start regretting it. It's good
Okay.
that to go to school in Germany is not a problem. It's
Mhm.
actually to get a job after learning the language. In fact, learning the language is the job.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
So it's
yes.
something that we need to explain to them. It doesn't matter whether you get the visa or not, but you need to be ready to learn the language.
Yes, exactly. Let me go into that mainly. Like, I'll give an example of myself. We know we've been in this situation. Sincerely, if you come to Germany without learning the language, it's really, really difficult. It's really difficult. You would be left to doing lots of menial jobs, because many of these jobs require you to learn German. Then the few ones that would not require you to learn German, you can imagine the competition, the number of persons that are looking for that little job there. So it's really, really very difficult. And now that there's this opportunity and you have the time, there's a lot of time to prepare yourself. I would tell you the best way is to already start preparing yourself for the German. Learn at least up to an A2, even if you might not require it to get the visa before you come into Germany. Me, I did not come with with German degree, and I don't know if I want to start expressing what I went through in terms of working in menial jobs. I sent lots of application, and there's this word in German, it's called leider nicht. It means unfortunately. Now, I got used to this word unfortunately in my email. Every time I'm receiving unfortunately, we cannot proceed with your application. It's that bad because many of these employers want you to understand German. So imagine you have just 1 year to stay in Germany to look for a job and you can't speak German. There is a high percentage that even without 1 year, you might not get something and then you have to go back. So imagine the investment you would lose for that period of 1 year.
I understand you. The issue of navigating. I didn't come here as a student.
Yeah.
I came here as a refugee, more or less. But the struggles that we've had over the years when it comes to the language. Like you're saying that you got, unfortunately, like I don't know. When I look at my email address and I go through those, I'm sorry, you have a perfect CV, but you don't know German. It's always like you don't know German. It's always
Yes.
like, oh, your German level is not good enough for the job. It's very frustrating, extremely frustrating, especially when you know that you have the experience, you have everything that it takes to do the job. And the truth is, you said we have a lot of competition. That is true. For you to get an English job, you must be, this high. You must be that high.
At the
Yeah,
top of your game.
you must be on top of your game. Like when when
Uh,
when 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 they are when they are taking off people from the company, and I'm like, okay, I don't want this job anymore. I really need to go. And then the list comes
Mhm.
out, your name is not there. Then you understand that they actually need you, you know.
Yes, yes, yes.
So yes, like you said, it's better that we have our German at least to a certain level, at least to be able to communicate on a normal day. Maybe not at the professional level, but something that uh, you can get into a train and talk to the controller. You
Yeah,
can buy from the supermarket, not the high level German.
exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
And
now,
then when you come here, you improve it.
exactly. So now, if somebody is in Africa and wants to follow this procedure, what exactly do they need to do? Now, we already understood that it's advisable to learn German, but it's not compulsory, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, so how do they go about it? Because that's what we are trying to avoid here, to make sure that people don't take advantage of people back home.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, I'll tell you I discussed about the two pathways. There are two options you being African can follow. The first option is that you need to have a professional degree or an academic qualification that is recognized here in Germany. Recognition, there's a database. After this interview, we'll drop in the database where you can check if your school is recognized or your course that you did, the professional qualification you did, is also recognized, and then you can apply for recognition. So when you can do this and then your recognition comes out to be positive, then you are automatically qualified for this chance card, which is opportunity card. This is the only first option. So if your degree is recognized in Germany, then you are automatically qualified. So people are asking that, okay, how can I get this recognition? Like I said, we'll drop the link on how you can apply for the recognition. There are diverse views about it depending on your embassy. Some could allow you to just go to a database where there's a list of schools and a list of courses. And if your school is graded with H plus, then your school is recognized. And if your course is there, then it means you are recognized. But this alone might not be enough for your embassy, the local embassy in your country, to say you are qualified for it. You might need to go through the other process, which is applying for the recognition itself, which takes longer time. I think a period of 3 to 4 months before you get your results, if your course is actually recognized fully or partially. So this is the first option. So if you get this and you are recognized, your qualification is recognized, then you're automatically qualified. Then there's the second aspect of it, which is if your qualification is not recognized by Germany, not fully recognized by Germany. Now, in this case, what you need to do is that the qualification you have, one, must be recognized in your country. So if the qualification is recognized in your own country, then you can start thinking of the second aspect, the second option I'm talking about. That's one of it. And then two, you need to have at least a A1 German language profession, or at least a B2, a C1 English language proficiency. That's the second requirement for the second option. And then this is the basic two requirements. So, like I said, the first one is if your degree is recognized, do not need any other requirements. But if your degree is not recognized and your degree is probably partially recognized or only recognized in your country and not in Germany, then you would need one other requirement first, which is either you have an A1 in at least an A1 in German, or a C1 in English. Then the second option also provides you a points-based system. And the point-based system, if you are aware of how the Canadian point-based system is, it's something close to that. But if you can get up to 6 points in this point-based system, then you're automatically qualified for the second option. How do we classify the points-based system? One is your qualification itself. So when we say for your qualification, if the qualification is only partially recognized in Germany, you would have 4 points in this case. But if the qualification is not recognized at all in Germany, but only recognized in your country, then you have 0 points. You do not have any points in this part. But the qualification or the vocational training should be at least more than 2 years, if at all. Then the second criteria, which is the German language, is that if you have a German language of B2 and above, you get 3 points. But if you have a German language for B1, you get 2 points. And if you have a German language for A2, you get 1 point. But if you have a German language for A1, you get 0 points. And if you have English language C1, you get 1 point. Then there's also for the age. The age, if you are within the age of 35, under the age of 35, you get 2 points. If you're above the age of 35 and between 40, so 35 to 40, you get 1 point. One other criteria, if you've stayed in Germany within the last 5 years for at least 6 months, you get 1 point. But the stay I mean here is eventually maybe coming for education, coming for work, maybe a short work period, but not visiting or tourism. Visits or tourist stay is excluded. So anything aside visit or tourist stay, like you come for research, you get 1 point. Then the final one is if you are coming with your spouse, if you have a spouse, and the spouse also has this other, can make 6 points in this category, or has their degree recognized, you also have 1 additional point. So for this second pathway, you must get at least 6 points to be able to be qualified for this program. But for the first pathway, which is the first option I told you, if your degree is recognized by Germany, you do not need any extra thing to do. So it means that you do not need language, you do not need to show your experience, you do not need to show your age, you do not need to show if your spouse is coming with you or if you have stayed in Germany for 1 year. So this is the 2 different pathways that are required.
All right, thank you very much, Ayo. So let's see. Is there no, like, if, for the Canada-based system? I understand that there is. You also have some working experience.
Yes.
In your field. In this German system, working experience doesn't count.
Yes, working experience also counts for the second option, which is the option 2. It could also give you points. So if you have an experience in the profession you are claiming, that's the profession where you get the vocational training or the degree which is not recognized or partially recognized, if you have at least 5 years experience within the last 7 years, you would have 3 points also in that point-based system. But if you have 2 years experience within the last 5 years, you would have 2 points in that part. And then, in addition to this, Germany also has what we call the bottleneck professions. These are professions that are in demand in Germany. You understand? So there are professions that we have lots of shortage of staffs, and we need to fill them. I would add the website to the list of this profession, but I want to give you an idea. One is the information IT technology space. So many of these IT professions, they are also there, but there's specific ones that are in the list. 2 is health-related professions, doctor, nurses. These are professions that are really of high, low shortage, and there's a lot of demand for it here. Then 3 is educational professions, like if you are a teacher, also maybe teacher or teaching people and different things, or the special needs for teachers, then you also have an additional 1 point in this point-based system. Yeah. So if you, in total, if you can get the 6 points, then it works for you. Then you're automatically qualified.
Okay. Thank you very much for that explanation. It's funny because you said if I have I don't know, B1 or B2, I get 3 points. And then if I have English C1, I get 1 point. It was very funny.
Yeah. So if you have, it's 2. Because for the German language, if you have B2 above, you get 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
If you have B1, you get 2 points. If you have A2, you get 1 point. If you have A1, you get 0 points. But again, do not forget, this is for the second option. The first option, if your degree is recognized in Germany, you do not need to think about this language, the experience you have gathered, the age. It is not your business. So long you are verified and you've gone through the process, and the German government have said this your qualification is fully recognized by us, then you're automatically qualified to apply for this card.
I see. Okay, so when I came to Germany, the job center, before I went to do the master's program, the job center had sent me to Z. I don't know. I forgot the name of the Z
Yes.
something
Yes.
to do the equivalence, I think.
Yes.
My question is, if someone is in Africa, for example, how do they, because I think that's the same office that does this equivalence. Yeah,
Yes.
because my first degree came from the University of Yaoundé too, and it was recognized as a bachelor's degree in Germany.
Yes.
Now, those who are based in Africa, how then do they get to do this procedure? Because you need to, I think you need to send your certified documents. You need to
Exactly.
apply online and then print out the forms.
You're already saying the answer, because that's basically the answer. So the truth is, for you to get that done, the application is online. You understand? So don't tell anybody telling you bring your money, we can do it in Africa for you, we can do all that. No, it's not. For you to get that your degree recognized, it's online. So there's a website which I said we should drop. I don't know if we can drop it now or we drop it after. There's a website we can drop, and then in the website you get all the procedure on how you send your application to them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So you get how you send your applications to them. You understand? You send all your application to them, and then they give you your results. Basically, it takes a long period of time, 2-3 months. Some people have said 4 months, and then they give you a result if your degree is actually fully recognized or partially recognized. So if it is fully recognized, then it means you just go into the option 1 and you're automatically qualified. But if your result comes out and it says it is partially recognized, then you have to go to the option 2 and start counting your points. Like we said, partially recognized gives you 4 points. So you start counting your points to see if you can get 6 points, and then you can qualify. But if they tell you it is not recognized at all, then you get no points. But in addition to that, it also has to be recognized in your country. So even if it is not recognized in Germany and it is also not recognized in your country, then it means you are not even qualified for option 2 also.
Okay. So approximately how much are we talking about? In Africa, our people are not very rich people. So approximately how much are we talking about for this verification?
Okay.
Yeah, don't laugh. It's a serious thing. That what is baffling me is that
yes,
our people will not listen to this live broadcast because it doesn't involve gossip or things like that.
true.
And what is going to happen is, before you know it, people will be telling them that you need to pay 500,000 naira or 500,000 francs for me to verify your document.
Yes.
And they will be giving this money. But now they will tell you that they don't have data to listen to what might just help them, in the future.
Yes.
Now, my question is, how much is it that they would have to spend for this verification? Let me come to that, because I think when I did mine, I did it online, and then I printed out the form, like filling it, and then I certified my transcripts and first degree certificate, and then I sent it together now in paper form, like real paper form. I sent it to now I've seen the name, it's called ZAP.
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, in Africa, I think the first degree is, at that time, it was 200 euros, if I'm not mistaken. And then the second degree, that means, like, if you want them to do the second one, then I don't know whether it was 100 or 150, I cannot remember. But now I don't know how much that costs. That's why I'm asking that. If it's the
Yes.
same procedure, it means that you have to apply, you have to certify your documents, you have to put them in an envelope. Do you need to post
Mhm.
them to Deutschland?
Yeah. So, like you said, I cannot quantify how much you will spend in your own country. For example, for the certification, for the posting, that would be determined by you yourself. But for the recognition itself, the last time I checked, probably at the time you did yours, it was quite cheaper. But now the last time I checked, it's 300 euros. So up to 300 euros you might spend in paying for the application fee to get that done. But whether it has changed or it has increased now, I do not know. But it is within this range for the application.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. And yes, I think it takes about 3 or 4 months.
Three,
Yeah.
4 months. I've seen some worst case scenario 5 months.
Okay. So now my next question is, let's say I'm going with option one. My
Yes,
certificates are approved by ZAP in
recognize.
Germany.
Mhm.
What next do I need to do?
Okay, so the next thing, if you are you sure you've certified it, it's clear that your certificate is recognized fully by Germany. Then the next thing you need to do is that you need to visit your local embassy, the German embassy in your region, in your country. Because now there's an online platform, which will also send the link here. But if you apply through the online platform, I think majority of all the African countries, even many of the other countries aside African countries, it will also still redirect you saying that you should apply at your local embassy in your country. So it's basically you have to seek an appointment in your local embassy, or you need to check the website of Germany in your local embassy and check the application procedure and what is required in that aspect. But I would also tell you the cost of applying in your own country, it shouldn't be more than the 75 euros, which is normal for the application. In your own country, applying for that, so it shouldn't be more than 75 euros. And one other point I want to say is that aside from this requirement I've mentioned, some embassies might decide to follow some or might be divergent with regards to their requirements or might add additional requirements for you to put in there. For example, if you are in Ghana, I went to the Ghana website, the Ghanaian website for German embassy, and I saw that they were even requesting that you need to submit your CV in the application. You need to submit letter of motivation on why you are going to Germany. You understand? So you see, it's quite different for some persons, for some embassies. So maybe they may require some other minor documents or application just to see how far it is. But you need to apply it from your region.
Okay.
At least
So
for
now,
now, not until maybe the online platform starts fully working for every other applications.
okay, thank you very much. So I have one, I don't know if it's the last question. Okay, so now let me understand. So I applied to ZAP. ZAP says, oh, okay, your certificate is recognized in Germany as whether it's ordinary level, first degree or master's degree,
Mhm,
everything is good. Now I go to the embassy.
mhm,
And how would I live in Germany? Because I have 1 year or so to look for a job, correct?
mhm, mhm.
And if I understand where the job center is not giving anybody money who comes from abroad.
Yes.
So in that 1 year,
Mhm.
how then do you intend to cope while
It-
in Germany? Because I think
yes.
those are some of the questions that the embassy will say, okay, no problem, you are coming, it's
Okay.
fine. So how do you intend to stay in Germany?
Okay. So this is the part some people might not like to hear, or they might get upset after they hear this and be like, "Where do I get this money from?" But it has to be said because you cannot come to Germany without any funds and just decide to stay. So Germany has also kept that requirement. Whether you are following option one or option two, you need to prove that you have sufficient fund to stay for the period of 1 year. Now, how can you prove this sufficient fund? There are three ways you can prove it, but still, one way might depend on your embassy. But the two major important one is that you need to show a block account. What is block account? The block account is that you need to deposit a particular amount of money into a designated German bank. There are special banks that does this, a special company that does this. You transfer the sum of money. What they require is that for at least every month, you should have 1,027 euros to take care of yourself. So For 1 year, it means you should have 12,324 euros. I know they don't want to hear this, but
Ayo,
you
do you
need to
have
get
that
it out
kind
there.
of money? You are living in Europe. Do you have it?
I know I don't want to answer that, but I have post. I I'm sorry. I know we kept this for the last, but sincerely, you need to have this money. You need to show this money. And the funny thing is that Germany governments don't want you to show your bank account and say, okay, you have this money, because they feel that this could just be, oh, you could amend this or just put the money in your account and later remove it. So they want you to deposit this money into a bank in Germany. So you deposit this 12,324 euros. But the thing is that the money remains your own money.
Mm-hmm.
But when you come into Germany, they give you a particular amount of it every month, which is the 1,027 euros every month until the 12th month. So it remains your money, but it must be kept into that German account. So you cannot use any other money. So this is the first option. The second option is that you can get a document called a declaration of commitment. The declaration of commitment is that you are saying that someone who lives in Germany and is working and can survive, pay himself, and even take care of you. So it's not just anybody that is living in Germany. The person must be doing a work that could feed him, if he has a family, feed his family, and then take one other person. You understand? So that person would have to apply for that declaration of commitment in Germany. He will apply for it at his local immigration office in Germany and then send the document to you. So he is saying that for the period of 1 year, I will take care of you and support you. So if you can get somebody who resides in Germany or your friend or family and is working and has the ability, so when I say working now, it means that he must be anywhere to be able to take care of you. So the embassy, the local immigration office will also determine that when the person goes to apply for that document in Germany. And then when he gets the document, he can send it to you, and you can also show that document to the local embassy in your country as a proof of fund. Then the third option, which is still, like I said, some embassies might decide not to take it, but some embassies might. I've checked some website of some embassy, they included it. Some embassies did not include it as part of what you can use to show your proof of fund. So the third option is that you already have a part-time work, a part-time contract, which is the 20 hours before coming into Germany. But even if this is, I think it's also difficult to get. How would you even get a part-time job before coming to Germany? But they're saying, okay, yes, if a company is giving you a part-time job, which could be in any profession, it doesn't have to be in the profession on which you are making the application for. It can be anything. It can be a delivery company, anything. If you have that 20 hours per week, you can show them as a proof that you can take care of yourself for the 1 year. So, but like I said, not all embassies want that, but it's also part of what could be shown as
I
proof.
was laughing at the delivery. I wanted to say that anybody who is looking for a job in the delivery sector, they should contact you. You are an expert in that.
In my early days, it was
and,
really
and and
crazy.
and if they also want to work at Amazon, they should contact you.
It was really crazy. I remember doing lots of delivery. I remember working in Amazon because I couldn't speak German. No, no, no. It was a process anyway, because I was actually also improving myself. Not until where I'm working presently as a data privacy expert.
Yeah, yeah. You tried. I remember when we were doing one of the exams, and you had just come back from work. I think from Amazon.
Yes, that
I don't know. I think the luck I have is that I've never had the opportunity to work in the night. Like I don't know
okay.
how it feels to
It's
work at
crazy.
night, and I hope I don't even want to have that feeling.
you
Actually,
don't you don't want to have that feeling like
nah.
you start sleeping in the day and then working at night. And I would even tell you, there was a time, this is why we say you need to learn that German. There was a time I was working at a distance of, I think I need to get there, it's 3 hours to get to the Amazon working place. But I work at night and I would have to travel with the last train, which is around 1 a.m. in the midnight, just so I can make the morning train. So sorry, I work in the morning this is for the morning shift, but I need to take the last train for my city. And then I will sleep at the off-Bahnhof, which is the railway station, for the next train to come in the morning. For over 4 hours, I'll be there sleeping in cold. Because if I don't take that last train at that night, The next train that is coming, I would not make my job that morning. I would get in late, and which would not be good for me. I might be sacked. So this is how bad. So for 2 months, I would sleep in the Urbanov in the middle of the night, waiting to take the train for my morning shift. It's really crazy, and I don't want anybody to experience this same thing if you really can't speak German or you can't get yourself something good.
Okay. All right. So we need more or less you need 12,000 euros in a block account in
Yes,
Germany. I
yes,
guess there are some banks that Deutsche Bank does that.
yes. Deutsche Bank
Um,
does it. There's a company called Espario. We can also send the link. There's a company called Espario. They also do it for you.
even
Um,
N95 does that, I think.
N25, yeah, well,
N25.
yeah, probably, but
They
I
do
don't
that
know.
because I think one of my friends did have blocked account there. And I also think that the block account, so for some reason, it was health insurance was included in it. I don't know. That's how
I
it
would
works, right?
I would speak on that. For some, I will speak also on that because that's another aspect of it. You've mentioned the health insurance, which makes sense. So normally, if you are coming as a student, or you would just require a travel health insurance, which is just for a period of 3 months. So not until you come here, you can now get a normal insurance. But there's a difference with this opportunity card now. The opportunity card is saying that you would not just require just the travel insurance anymore. You need to get the standard insurance even before coming for
Hmm.
a insurance that will last for more than 90 days. So you need to get a standard insurance before coming into Germany because they are already sure they are staying for 1 year and not just for a short period of time. So travel insurance would not suffice in this case anymore. If you want to go for this opportunity card, you need to get the normal insurance. And the normal insurance, like I said, some of these companies could also, if you use the N26, like you said, they could also link you to a company that could get that insurance for you, or you could also get some other company. But that's quite another.
So wait, let me understand. So when I get this insurance and I'm still, for
Yes,
example, I'm still in Africa,
yes,
does it begin only when I get into Germany or
exactly. It begins only when when you get into Germany. So when you get into Germany, that is when after 1 month, then you start paying the monthly fee for the mandatory fee for the insurance. So it doesn't
okay.
begin before.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. Um, I don't know if we left out something.
Okay, done. I think we've discussed a bit of it all. I think we've discussed, except if there's questions, then we can probably deal with the question.
Like
So, like we said,
everybody's complaining about the language barrier. Yeah, that is always the problem with Germany. Germany and language barrier, they're like 5 and 6. You know, I always used to tell people that Germany is good for children. That's what I think, for children. People
okay,
who have level head, no problems or minimal problems. But when you are someone that has a family, you have children running
mhm,
around, you even go to school, and by the time you get home, you've forgotten everything. You know,
very true, very true,
yes,
very true, very true.
it's because when you see my daughter,
Mhm.
sometimes she speaks, and I sit and I look at her like it's magic, like she's using some magic. and I was here 3 years before she came. But then when she
Wow,
speaks, I'm like, God, why can't I just speak this way? Because
I
she has
get
no
you.
problem. She comes home, she has her food, has they will have her shower, I will bathe
Mhm.
her and all of that. And she basically has nothing to worry about except just to
Nothing to
learn.
worry.
Yeah. But
Exactly.
my question is, there's something I'm really worried about, right?
Yes.
um I know a lot of people who are IT experts
Okay.
in Germany, right?
Yeah.
And they still apply for jobs, and they still tell them, sorry, your CV is impressive. That
Mhm.
automated response when you are being
Exactly.
rejected,
Mhm.
and they don't have jobs. So why would then the country say, and some of them are working in fields that they shouldn't be there.
Mhm.
Now, my question is, why then is the government asking people to come in that there are no workers? Because I don't think the problem is that there are no workers. I think the simple no, Ayo, let's be honest. I don't think the problem is that there are no workers. I think the simple reason is they have so many qualified workers, but these workers are all expats coming from different countries and who do not have the capacity to learn the language anymore. Do you get my point? Yeah, because to say that there are no workers, I don't think that I've always heard that there are no workers, there are no bed. I don't think that is true. Okay, for example, let's go to you. How many rejects did you get?
You see, you want to push me to the wall, but I'll try not to go to that wall. Eh? The German government has said there's shortage of workers. Let's stick to that.
Okay.
And they want people to come in there. So if they are saying that there's shortage of workers, I know you are going to. I applied for so many jobs and I didn't get the job. So why is there shortage of workers? But they are saying that they've checked their statistics. I don't know the measurement they use, but they've checked and they've said there's shortage of workers and we need you to come to work. I really cannot argue with what how they determine that, but I would say, okay, that's their decision. If they say that's the case, then probably that's the case. Well, I do not know. But one thing, like you said, like in my case, one of the things like we discussed was the German language, which is also very
Yeah,
a
I'm saying
problem. You
that
understand?
because
Mm,
our African brothers and sisters,
yes.
when they would hear of this opportunity, they would leave everything that they are doing and jump into it.
Yes.
And then they get here. Maybe you had a master's degree in maybe cyber security. I don't know if they do masters in cyber
Yes.
security, but that's an
They do
example.
it. Yes.
Yes, in Africa. And then you do your equivalence, and then they say, yes, this certificate is equivalent to the German, standard. And then you abandon whatever it is you're doing in Africa. Then
Mhm.
you rush to Germany. Then you come here in 1 year. You know how we got here. It was not 1 year we took to get to where we currently
We
are.
are now. Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Now you come here and you have 1 year to look for that job that they will keep telling you that you don't know German. And believe me, in 1 year, if you are above 35, right, there's a
Mhm.
possibility that in 1 year, there's no way you are learning that Dutch.
You are not actually lying, and that is why I think this is one of the advices we will give to them, and that's why I'm always stressing on that. Be prepared for coming here. For anybody that needs to come here, don't just be, oh, there's an opportunity card, I can come into Germany 1 year and look for jobs. See that, I don't want to say it's like a trap, and they put you in that trap, and then the worst thing you can do for yourself is to come into that trap and you lose your senses, because it could lead you to depression. You start looking for a job, nothing is coming. 1 year counts down. You start thinking of, how do I go back to my family in my country? What do I tell them? You traveled to Germany for 1 year and you came back. What will people say? You don't want to be in those kind of situations, and that could actually affect you even mentally. And then you start looking for ways to find out to remain back in Germany. You start saying, okay, asylum or many of all these other options to remain back in it, which could work, but you don't want to be in those kind of situations. So prepare yourself. You have the time now. My personal advice would be, prepare yourself, learn that language. Because if you come in here with just English language, ha 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 ha, hey, let it not be a case. Let it not be a case. And you see, the German government is smart. Eh? What I think they've looked at this option. They said when you come here, you can work just 20 hours a week in any other jobs. You see what they did there? They don't want you to go work one fully 45, 40 hours a week for any job. Because some people might have that mentality and be like, oh, I'll come into Germany. Even if I'm working a menial job, I'll work full time, make the money in 1 year and leave Germany. That is why
Mhm.
they've reduced it and said, no, you cannot come and trick us. We'll put you in this hole. Instead, you work 20 hours. And that 20 hours, guess what? You cannot earn a lot that will even make you feed well. You would stay well, but you would not have any savings for yourself. So at the
Exactly.
end of the 1 year, you will have nothing with you. You understand? So that is why they are putting it there, except you get that job. So don't be unfortunate. Yeah, prepare yourself well. They've said there's shortage of job, but is there really shortage of job if you are not well prepared? That's a question that will remain hanging.
Yeah, because I need us to, as much as we want a better life for our brothers and sisters back
Yes,
home, we need to also make sure that we tell them the truth, the way it works. It maybe it doesn't work like that for everybody. Some
yes.
people might get here and learn the language in 6 months. Yes. And then there can be people like us who need 5 years to learn the language. And there are people that need the entire life to learn the language. But then you must think about all these things before you pick up your things, take your life, and
Mhm.
then go to somewhere. I will be honest with you. If I wasn't who I am, I would have been depressed in this country. You know,
No,
going
I won't lie
through
to you.
school in Africa, schooling in the same Germany, and every day they tell you with the countless certifications, and then every day they tell you, sorry, your German level is not, and they haven't had a conversation with you. Just the
Let,
fact that on your CV you had either a B1, you are done.
let me shock them. I have 2 master's degree in Germany. And why did I even have 2 master's degree? So you can imagine how far I was going to push just to get something on my table. I finished my first master's. I applied for jobs. Oh God. If you check my email, the rejection rate in my email, see, that's in that case, you might even want to you would even start disbelieving yourself and
Mhm.
feel, do you know something? You start thinking, am I even intelligent at all? Can I even give, because is it that they are not seeing anything in my CV? But really, that's not the case. But that alone can put you into depression. That
Yep.
alone can destabilize your life. You understand? If you don't improve yourself with what is necessary. So don't just take up your bag and follow the crowd now and say, oh, there's an opportunity card. I want to come to Germany. 1 year is like a twinkle in the eye. It just goes.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you start thinking of how would I stay? How would I go back? And it's not something you want for yourself.
Mm-mm.
So, she has said, prepare yourself. Even if the German language might not be necessary to live in Germany, you need that language. When I came here, yes, I would even want to advise again. When I came to Germany for studies, in my first year, I had a block account also. That was one mistake I made. I started working already because I was seeing people working, doing a lot of job and making money. I started working. I never even thought of the German language. I was already working. And at the point when I finished my block account and I was working even at the same time when I had block account, at the end of that period, I did not even see the money I had. The money I made in my work, I did not even see it. I didn't even see it anywhere. So what was the need? I said, it's quite really, really insane. I was just working and paying bills and living my life without any other thing. So imagine I had learnt German in that period and I started applying. That would have kept me on an edge. Because if I should tell you the truth, if you don't learn German and you come here, there's, okay, like people will say, some people have grace. Yes, there's grace. I got even my own job without the
Yeah,
language
people
aspect,
like
but I
people
need.
like us. I think God just looked at our condition and said, "Let me have pity on these ones.
Let me have
Let my
pity,
people go."
exactly. But this was after how many years before we got our job in the English field? We were doing a lot. This is years. I don't mean 1 year. I don't mean 2 years. I mean 3 years before we even got something working out. So you don't want to be in that state for 3 years. You can't even stay 3 years because like the visa now is just for 1 year. So you need to prepare yourself, think about it, have a second thought before you start saying you want to come. Don't allow this travel consultants telling you, oh, you can go to Germany 1 year, you get a job. There's a lot of job in Germany. It's all the It is not as they say it.
No,
It
Ayo, let
is.
me be honest with you.
Mm,
Give this now. People are not really aware of the program.
yes,
Just give it a couple of months, and you will be shocked at how many people will give millions to people to help to bring them abroad. And then at the end, maybe they don't get the visa, or they come here and then they are stranded, no
yes,
job, no language, nothing. And then you would see how many, then you begin to ask yourself, why did they not do their investigation, their findings, and all of that?
well,
But our
mm,
people have the tendency of listening to things that don't move their life forward. And oh, the things that they move their life forward is those things that they want to have it easy.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
that's how we were made. I think it's a general problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's
And
why I thought it was important that we do this show, because I
we
don't want
stress it.
my online community to say one day that, oh, that so you knew that there was this opportunity in Germany and you did not tell us. It will
Tell
be
us.
like, okay, now you are in Europe and you don't want us to be there. Yeah, I want
Exactly.
everybody to be here, but I need to make sure that everybody is mentally, physically prepared to be here. You know,
Exactly.
some of us did not come here because we wanted to. Circumstances brought us here. It even made it worse for us. You know, like when I used to apply for jobs and then they would tell me, oh, we have taken somebody else due to the fact that you're German. I'm like, okay, this person, apart from the German, what else does the person know? You know, I used to ask myself that question like every other day. Yeah. But now I've come to terms with it because I discovered that it was not just about me, it was a general English problem. Like
Problem. Excellent.
I used to have a colleague. He's from India. He left. He's doing logistics, I think something like that. He works now with another company. And he made us laugh one day at the office. He said when he came to Germany, he was applying for jobs and they were always replying him. But the problem is the reply was, we have gone through your CV, it is impressive. But then at the end of the day, they'll tell him that they wish him luck in his in his career.
Like Danish.
So he said he called his cousin in India and told his cousin that he's very proud of himself, that the Germans really like his CV and they keep wishing him luck. And then his cousin was like, those are rejection letters.
Exactly. They would, and it's very sweet. The way they draft that rejection, it could be very funny. We're
Exactly.
impressed. They'd be like, we're impressed with your CV,
Yeah.
but we just have to go with. You
Yeah,
get it?
exactly.
It's
So
quite. Then one last thing on this point is the worst situation you can be in Europe is to be in a position where you don't have documents. That's the worst situation you can be in Europe. Europe is not like the US where you can even work without documents. It is the worst situation. It's very difficult. It can affect you mentally. It can affect you anyhow. A lot of people have passed through this thing and come out good. That's very awesome. But if they tell you their experience in that period, you won't want to be in that shoes. So, like she has said, make sure you have studied the situation, you've improved your German, you know in what you are coming for. And we've told you clearly now, it is not just about Germany telling you there's shortage of job. I've been here, I was here over 5 years. Before I got my job, I knew what it took me. So if there was shortage, I should have gotten it in the first month. So
exactly.
think about it very well and be sure of what you want to do. Then you asked if there was one other point. There were 2 points that I think we did not point on, which is what can you use to prove the German language? So in your embassy, the local embassy, to prove, there's this Goethe Institute. They do write German exam there. So you write the German exam with them, get the certificate, and then you can use that to prove your German language. Then for the English proficiency, there's TOEFL, there's IELTS. So these are recognized English test exams that if you do it, then you can use that also to prove that you have the particular requirements just for the point-based aspect. Then finally, also for your work experience, like we said on the point-based system in the option 2, if you have 5 years in the last 7 years, or if you have 2 years in the last 5 years, you get point for it. You need to also prove that. And how can you prove that? Basically, what it might depend on the different embassy, but what will be majorly required is a reference letter. So they would want a reference letter from your company that would state that you are working for them, how much you are being paid, and the duties you are carrying out in the company. So how long you also work for them in the company. Then maybe some embassies also may require you to show probably your pay slip, or to show that you received salaries, or maybe your employment letter with the company in your country, depending on what the embassy might want to add to that.
Okay. All right, so thank you very much, Ayo. And now it's like I want to do this procedure because, like, I think I've understood it. I don't know if those that are listening have actually understood, but I think it's really clear enough. Now I have already dropped the link for the uh, equivalent for the document,
Yes.
and I don't know what other link were you talking
Yeah.
about.
So there's a link for the German website where you can use to check if your degree is not certificate and you want to use the option two. You can also check your criteria to see
Mm-hmm.
if you are qualified. So it's not like if you check and it tells you congratulations, it's an automatic thing, but it means that if you are truthful with what you've written in there, then it means you are qualified and you can go to the embassy to apply. So it's how do we share that to you?
Uh,
I don't can we share that later? Or
yes, we can share that later. So
okay,
the let's see. So if it says that you are qualified, you then need to go online and book like a
an
regular
appointment in your
visa
embassy.
or appointment. I don't understand because, for example, the Schengen visa, I think they have to fill the application. So is there a separate application for this?
So, like we said now, it's a new process. This just started in June 1. So even many embassies in Africa have not like given a specific procedure on how to apply for it. Some have kept their procedure out there, but some have not. So basically, but the idea doesn't change. It would still remain just like the job seeking visa or any other application process where you have to go into the website for your region, the German embassy in your region, select the particular one, fill the application form, seek an appointment, and go to your interview with the necessary document to prove your case.
Oh, thank you. Okay, now I understand. All right. So I don't know if there's something else you need to add. I think I have asked you everything that I need so that
Yeah.
if my online friends also contact me, I have something to say to them rather than to say because if I say I don't know, they will not believe me. So
So except
yeah,
they have
because
questions, then they can ask, accept that. But I think we've covered basically all that should be mentioned.
okay, so if you have any questions, you can just drop them under the video and I would look at it later, and if I don't have an answer to it, I will contact Ayo for an answer to
Yes,
the question.
exactly. So if they
Yeah,
add that to them, I can always answer them
yeah,
on that.
but I'm not here to help anybody. I can only direct you on how to apply. That's the only thing I can do. How to apply to ZAP to have your equivalent. Maybe if you want to apply to the embassy, you need some clarification with your visa application form and all of that. But that's where it ends. I have no expertise to do any other thing for you. I can only do the normal things, and it's basically for free. It's not for, I'm not charging anything. As long as you are on this community, then if you need help, you can always reach out and I'll be able to help.
Yes, I'm still with you.
All right. So if there's nothing more, then I guess we should call it a day.
Yeah, exactly. So
Currently the German embassy in Cameroon is shut down. Uh, one moment, and I've never understood why, and I will look at it again. The reason why they are shut down. So Z D. Oh shit, Z. Okay, so it says that um, we regret to inform you that due to technical problems with the power supply, the visa section of the Embassy of the Federal Republic of Embassy Yaoundé will remain closed to visitor indefinitely for May 9th, 2024.
oh
Your appointment will be automatically rescheduled once the visa section is operational again. You will be automatically informed of your new appointment when it is issued. Please check your email inbox at regular intervals. No further action is required on your part. Embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany in Yaoundé and the Federal Office Berlin apologize for any inconvenience caused and thank you for your understanding. So what I don't know is, I think even if the embassy, I think the embassy should be closed for appointments, for like physical appointments, but not actually closed for, you can still do all the applications online and then book for an appointment, and then when they are back, then they can give you an
They can
appointment
start
date.
giving the appointment. Exactly.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that works for Nigeria. The requirements have been kept online, but there's no process on how to make an appointment now. There's no discussion about that yet. So probably much later they would have that. But then you already know the requirement and the document that you might need. Even in Nigeria, Nigeria embassy is also asking for letter of motivation. So I wonder, okay, they're telling you that you need to explain why you want to go to Germany and then why you want to go work in that profession. You need to give them that letter. It's quite funny, but depending on the embassy, they may require additional documents. So that.
Ayo, this is just like not in the topic, but I don't know. So tell me, I remember that when we used to ask for visas in those days, you know what I mean in those days?
Mhm.
You know, when we used to ask for visa, there was something they always used to say, you have no proof that you will return to your home country. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to know. No. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. I want to know, those who are coming with this visa, do they need to prove that they would return to their country? Well, it doesn't make sense now.
Because no, sincerely, the opportunity is for you to come to look for a job. So I
Mhm.
don't think that will be a criteria if they will ask for a motivational letter to show that you want to return into your country. That will basically apply in case for students and all of other persons. But for this card, that should not be what should be included in there. Because why would you return if you are going to look for a job? You understand? So it doesn't. So, but I think more of the boss, but you need to buttress more on how your profession would be beneficial for the German government, and how far you have progressed in your profession
Please,
and
I'm
what
not
you
writing
contribute.
motivation letter for anybody. Oh, that's Ayo's expertise. I'm not writing. I'm not writing motivation letter for anybody, because I don't want anybody inboxing me and saying that, please, can you help me write a motivation letter? I cannot write a motivation letter for your profession, because
Exactly.
my profession, I can do it for my profession, not your profession. So you
Not
write your
for another
motivation
person's
letter.
profession.
You can
Yeah.
only write the letter and do your CV, and then you send it for me to have a look at it and give my opinion. Not
Hmm.
that I'm saying that change it, or it's just an opinion that you might take and you might decide not to take.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
that I
And
can do willingly. After you've done all the work, then I have a look at it. That is okay.
that maybe I point them to one other aspect. We discussed in the option two that you have a vocational training or a certificate that is not recognized by Germany. And then for another point, depending on also your experiences, either 3 years
Mm-hmm.
or 5 years, as the case may be. But that experience must be related to the profession, to the vocational training. So
Mm.
make sure it is related. So if you have an experience, for example, your vocational training was in food and nutrition, and then you have an experience in information technology, then you don't get that point for 3 years or 5 years experience because it's
Which is
not from the
normal.
same.
It
Yes,
makes
exactly.
sense.
It makes more sense. So you don't get that point. So the experience must be related to your vocational training. That must be at least 2 years vocational training. So this is like diplomas and all this, but should be more than 2 years for the training.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Ayo. It's pretty late here, and tomorrow is another busy day. God, I hate Mondays.
Exactly. Work again. Waking up in the morning, going to work.
Yeah. So if I get more questions, or if you get, because I'm sure that your online family is also listening to this. So
Yes.
if you get more questions and I get more questions, maybe we would want to do another live show
Right.
once the program has officially been unveiled in all the embassies.
Yes, exactly.
All
Exactly.
right.
Then that would be good also. Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much for your time, and
Thank you.
thanks to those that have been listening to us, and For those who wish to apply, I wish you guys the best of luck, and always remember that I'm here to help.
Learn German.
Yes, please learn German, please. So, all right. So it's
All right.
10:25. I should be going to bed.
In Germany, but
So
it's 9:25 in
in
many of the
Africa,
in
in
Africa,
well, in our
in
part of
Western
Africa.
region too.
Yes. All right.
All right. Thank you very much for having me.